one of the more challenging things that I face in my own life, and in my life, I don't think that I'm any different in any sort of way than anybody. I think it's pretty sort of standard stuff. But one of the biggest challenges that I face, as a professor, and you probably feel the exact same way, whatever career that you're in, or a student, or maybe you're a parent or whatever. What I feel is a lot of role ambiguity that happens. And what do I mean by that? Is that there is, especially now that I think things are becoming a lot more blurred in terms of, gender roles that we face in society, in terms of, roles of working, not working, all of, in terms of roles of what it means to be a parent versus being your own, like yourself, a kid, right? Like there is a lot that goes on because the older we, aging is not the same as what it used to be, right? Like aging would be like once you get to a certain age, you'd be put out to pasture. Now it's not that case at all. So people are sort of questioning themselves: how old should I be? Am I old when I'm 65, or am I old when I'm, for me, 42, whatever? And you're sort of questioning yourself. You don't know what is the right answer. And I don't think in the past we ever knew what is the right answer for any of these kind of things. These boundaries are sort of hairy, right? Like they're not quite clear, but it's becoming less clear for what our roles should be and where we sit. And then one of the tensions that I face is like, what role, how much should I actually work on a day-to-day versus how much should I be a parent on a day-to-day? Or, when there's, I've got to clean around the house. What is the appropriate amount of time that I should allocate to cleaning around the house versus going and working and dedicating some time to, some thoughtful thinking, that's what we do as an academic, right? We do thoughtful thinking. And it's mostly just writing. It's not like we sit there and ponder. That's kind of some of it, but not really. It's like sitting down, just getting your butt to gear to get some writing done. But, what is the appropriate amount? And the times that I feel this role ambiguity is often, moments of that there's no sort of clear delineage, right? Like on a regular work schedule, there is clear delineage when you should do something versus something else, right? So right now it's December 27th. And it's kind of an ambiguous date. It's a kind of should we work during this period? Should we not work? And I know that countries have different sort of standards and stuff, but for the most part in the United States and Canada, and for the UK. A lot of countries, Australia, it's kind of like I don't know what I should do. Is this a work time? And so some people take holidays, vacations. Some people don't, and some people, even when they're working, they kind of do like a half-assed kind of work. Some people don't, and it's never clear. And this is kind of a moment that it causes me a lot of anxiety. Is during the holiday period. It's like even in the summertime, right? Like, so I've been clear and open about this stuff. I feel a lot of anxiety. When is the appropriate time that I should be working, or how much I should be working? What is the norm? It turns out that I'm pretty normal. I've sort of explored this kind of stuff, and in terms of numbers and stuff. One of the coolest papers I love about this is Porter and Noria. I can't remember what it is, but it's like a Harvard Business Review sort of article, and Yeah, and it sort of just documents what Fortune 500 CEOs, how much they spend working on. I think they track, like, I don't know if it was 10 or 30 CEOs or something like that. It wasn't that much. And, they just tracked how much they spend their time and effort. And there's clear moments where most of them actually just don't work on the weekends. For at least a day, they are kind of hanging out with family and friends. It's usually this kind of schedule where it's maybe a half day, maybe not on the weekends, but most of the time they're hanging out with family and friends. But on these moments where we're kind of like at Christmas time, for me and my family, that's a big time. And December 27th is like I don't know. Christmas Eve, there's definitely a moment where it's clear, right? Like in Christmas Eve in the afternoon, it's sort of clear that nobody really works. Christmas Day, nobody really works, although I remember lots of times where I did work on Christmas Day when I was younger. I didn't have kids, but, it's just, that's what you do, right? Like that's what I did, because that was, what else do you do when you're waiting for everybody to wake up? So it was nice to kind of sit there and type away on my computer, during the holidays when you're sitting in front of the Christmas tree. It was kind of romantic in a lot of ways. So, but I know, like, hey, don't beat me up, and I don't want you to sort of follow these footsteps in any sort of way. Like, what I'm trying to get at is not that at all. What I'm trying to get at is, now I don't do any on Christmas Day at all, because, things are hectic and it's chaotic, and what I'm saying is just kind of make it so it sort of fits who you are. And when there's these moments of anxiousness or role ambiguity that we all face in all sorts of these different kinds of roles, just know it's going to happen. And this feeling for me, it's never going to go away. This is part of, it's part of me. I'm kind of more of an anxious person. And then B, it's part of the role of being a professor. We have a lot of ambiguity, and we have a tremendous amount of competitive pressure to be productive, quote unquote productive, all the time. Which is, part of why I do the Reciprocity Project, is to let you know that, hey, it's okay to get exercise, it's okay to brush your teeth, it's okay to cut your hair. Spend time to have dinner, all those kind of, which I know if you're not an academic, you do not understand this at all. Like, you do not get this. But if you're an academic, you completely understand where I'm coming from, and what I'm saying is that you feel like you don't have enough time for any of this stuff. And you always feel like, man, do I really need to do that? Do I need to go to the doctor? Man, and it's a real tension. But what I'm getting at is, try to give yourself some grace. Give yourself some just make yourself feel like, try to be okay with, hey, if you work, you work. If you don't, you don't. And be okay with that, right? Like, just be cool to your brain, and as or be chill. Just enjoy it is more of what I'm trying to get at, and remove that tension from your brain, that anxiety. It's not going to do anybody any good, and just do some work when you need to do some work, and then when you need to hang out with people, enjoy it. You only have one life to live. So with that, have a good one, take care, and we'll see you on the next one.